Bit of an update video today. I'm just gonna have a little drive around the estate in the trusty old Chuggaboom, the old Range Rover. Show you what we've been getting up to in the last couple of days. Now, I've not been filming for one, because it slows the job down, as you can imagine, moving cameras, tripods, this, that and the other, backwards and forwards. We just wanted to get on, because we've both been sort of pretty ill with this cold. We just wanted to get on and get done. So we'll have a little drive around and I'll talk about what we've been up to. So both the tractor and the digger have been pretty busy this week. We had the rotavator on the tractor. I've rotavated up a load of ground for Tina to plant. We'll have a look around there in a minute, and then I'll put the mower on. And as I said, we always collect the grass, and that goes on top of whatever we've planted. Keeps the weeds down, does quite a good job, and it keeps the moisture in. Up at the top of the field here, we just had a drive up here. The neighbours was cutting some trees down, and a couple came over the fence and landed in our garden. Let's go have a quick look. Now, they did come onto our land to start cutting it up. A little bit annoyed that they didn't ask, but there you go. It's life. So because they didn't ask, I had the grapple on the digger and I pinched all their firewood. Not that we need it, because we've got a shitload of our own wood. We'll have a look at that in a minute. But I thought, well, he's going to want to know where that's gone, so he's going to have to ask. So he knocked on the door, says, oh, can we come and clear up that bit of wood that's gone over your fence? And there was some big bits in it as well. He's obviously come over and had a look. Oh, where's my firewood gone? That's the first time we've spoken to him. He moved in a year after us. Well, it's about 2 years really, because we bought this house 2018 and we moved in 2019. So he moved in a year after, and he owns this little bit of wood the other side of the track. But he said when they've got all done and we've cleared all the fence and everything, he's going to come along and fix the fence where his trees have come down and damaged the fence. So yeah, all good stuff. We'll come around here and have a look at what firewood. Well, we've got some trees stacked up ready to cut for firewood, so let's have a look at that as well. So that just over there is a load of trees that are in the woods here that have either fallen over on their own, standing dead, anything like that. I've dragged it out of the woods and just stacked it there. Now, previously when Tina was well, she would get on the chainsaw, I would grab the tree with the digger and she would cut it off into bite-sized chunks ready for the fire. She can't really use the chainsaw now because of her operations, this, that and the other. So there might be a job for you, Alfie, when you get out here. I'll keep referencing to Alfie. It's my sister's boyfriend. I take it they're still together. But even so, you can still get yourself out here, Alfie, and help me cut this wood up. Yeah, so that's all seasoned wood. That's good to go. As soon as it's cut up, that'll burn. We've got a couple of trees right down the bottom there, which we cut up in another video. That's a bit fresh. That's going to want seasoning for probably, it's pine and it's crap, but it's free. So that'll get split up, stacked up somewhere for this year, and then that'll be ready for next year. Some of this harder, like oak and chestnut, it can potentially take a couple of years to season. But yeah, that's here. We'll have a little drive through the woods. We'll go and have a look at Tina's little grassy knoll that she likes. We think we've got some wild garlic coming up. We definitely planted some there, but let's drive through the woods and have a quick look. That bit there we call the grassy knoll. It's a nice little mound, it's all grass, and the old wild garlic comes out. I think I can see some popping out, but you won't see it on camera. When I was cutting this grass yesterday, Tina came down and sat here because it was nice in the dappled shade, and it was quite warm yesterday, so she was sat in the shade with the two mutts watching me cut this grass. Now this to say, I cut this grass yesterday and we'll probably collect it tomorrow and put it on some of the beds up the top here. But we'll just have a drive across the field and have a look over at this pine tree. With the grapple, I've been picking all the, I said to him, if I can cut through it with a little chainsaw, leave it 6 foot lengths, anything bigger than that, cut it up into log lengths, so that's 30 centimeters. So, and I've been stacking them all up with the digger, but we'll go and have a quick look now. So over in that corner, that's all pine, all chopped up, ready to something to do with. There's a lot of clearing up to do in the garden. We'll probably go through it, cut out any of the stuff that's going to be good enough for the fire. The rest of it, we'll have a little bonfire out in the field here and get rid of some of it. This here is our little pond. It's just dug out. Tina dug it out first when I was really ill. When we first moved here, I was quite bad. I couldn't go out in the sun, you know, 5 minutes in the sun and I'd go dizzy, I'd throw up. Oh, it was bad. Back to bed, curtains closed, a lot. Turns out I wasn't doing very well on some of the pills they put me on, so while I was laid up, Tina came out and dug a hole, put a tarpaulin in it, filled it up. Now the main objective for this little pond is for the dogs, because in the summer it gets so bloody hot and they like to have a bit of a cool down. So we do have a pump that goes in here. Tina's going to be cleaning the filters out and putting the pump back in it in the coming days, weeks, whatever. We get frogs in it, there's wildlife in it, and I have extended it since. We pulled all the tarpaulin out. I dug it out a bit deeper at one end, and it's temporary. You know, we want to do a proper good job with a natural pool that potentially we can get in ourselves, with proper filtration, you know, but that will be a project coming along, not anytime soon. Right, let's have a little drive around and I'll show you the actual garden side of things. So when it comes to the gardening side of thing, we've got the palaxes, which are like these apple boxes. We've cut the top run off, so we've got some small boxes down on the floor. They've got onions growing in them and obviously some other herbs, parsley, thyme. I think there's some lavender in there as well. Then we'll go across to these other ones. They've got, I can't remember if they're all onions, but they're all poking through now. And then we have another bank of them, and they're onions or garlic or whatever. All seem to be doing really well. Now, as I say, we use the grass to cover up the whatever's growing. It keeps the weeds down and it keeps moisture in, so you tend not to have to water the plants quite as often as you normally would. So just round the corner here, there's a patch that I've rotivated for Tina. You can see the second patch to the right hand side of it, and you can see all the stakes that she's whacked in the ground. Now this is the bed for potatoes. Now I did a video the other week preparing for potatoes. I just rotivate it up, it gets rid of all the weeds, loosens the ground up so that the potatoes they can get their roots down, because she doesn't actually plant the potatoes in the dirt. She sort of just sits them on the dirt and pushes them in a little bit, covers them up with grass. Now every time we cut the grass, we hill them up as you would do if those in the soil, but we hill them up with the grass. that all rots down, keeps moisture in, keeps weeds down. Growing potatoes in grass is fantastic, and when it comes to harvesting, you just pull the grass away from the soil and there you go, you've got a load of potatoes. And it seems to work really well for us. We've got a lot of grass here, so when we cut it, we collect it, chuck it on the garden. Now these stakes that are all around the edge of the potato bed, that's companion planting. She's looked up what goes well with potatoes, and it turns out beans. So I don't know if there's French beans, there's kidney beans, beans for baked beans. I think they're the large baked beans. Yeah, and then I think she'll probably plant some in amongst it as well. I don't know what she's doing, but you know, I'll leave that to her. I think there's another patch over there I've rotivated. I think we're going to be covering that with grass in the coming days. I've got some more grass to cut. Obviously you can see down the bottom of the field where the grassy knoll was, that's all rowed up, ready to collect. I mean, our mower's not great, it's not a finishing mower, it's like a bush hog. So we'll chop up anything, and it does a fairly decent job of cutting the grass, and it seems to, where it flings it out the back, it seems to sort of pile it up in a line, so that's ideal for us, because I just run along it with the lawn sweeper on the back of the little ride-on mower, and away we go, collecting grass. And then I just drive it round to the vegetable bed, unload it, Tina deals with it, and I potter off on my way to get more. So that's pretty much what's been happening here on the old farm. It's starting to look a bit tidier. Down the bottom there it's quite messy because there's still a pine tree on the floor that's not been cut up yet, and there's a lot of branches and stuff that we need to deal with. But there's other priorities we've got to get on with first, like get the potatoes in, carrots and parsnips. I think she's put in one of those pallexes. Beans around the edge, we've got peas growing somewhere else. It's just getting on top. Now we're getting a bit of sun. I think we've got a few more days of sun, and then it's potentially raining again. But yeah, it's so much nicer, isn't it, when the sun's out. It's 23 degrees today, so it's t-shirt weather. We've been out for a little drive to well, we was going to go out and have a little picnic, but we did a click and collect at the shop, and she got some stuff that wanted to go in the freezer, so I said let's just go home and have a picnic in the field. So we parked up under the trees over there, had a little picnic, dropped off, had a little snooze, and yeah, I was planning to have an afternoon of shooting, because that's, you know, one of my hobbies. I've got a target range here at 50 meters, so, you know, a bit of air rifle shooting. But I got indoors and I thought, you know what, I can't be bothered with that. Let's have an easy afternoon and we'll crack back on with work tomorrow. So a little bit of an update, show you what's going on around the place. We're getting things tidied up. That pile of wood up the end there, hopefully we'll get that chopped up this year for firewood. That's all good to go. That's been on the floor for well over a year. There's a couple of fresh bits there that blew over in the wind, and I've dragged them out, but I know which ones they are. And then we'll start getting our wood store well stocked, hopefully, because next winter we want to be on the wood burner, because oil is just so bloody expensive. It's a joke. So anyway, that's gonna be it for this little roundup. Hope you enjoyed it. Seen a bit of the estate, and we'll catch you in the next video. Bye for now.